Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're looking at 9.2. So for the first part of 9.2, for problems 1 through 4, we are to select the best answer based on the given data. Below your chosen answer is a confidence scale. Circle the statement that best describes your confidence in the correctness of the answer you choose. The goal is to gain awareness of how it seems easier to draw conclusions in some cases than in others. So if we look at number 1, the data, we have 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. The next number in the list will be larger than 32, positive, exactly 64, less than 32. Well, first of all, is there a pattern happening here? Yeah, we're doubling it or we're multiplying by 2. So what's 32 times 2? Yep, 64. So we should have C. Let me make that a little bigger. So now, are you certain you're correct? Are you a little unsure? Or you had no idea, so you guessed? In this case, you should be certain you're correct. At least I would hope. We could see that there was that pattern, so we just followed the pattern. So we were certain we were correct. So what about the data made you feel the way you did about the answer you marked? The data follows a pattern. So because it follows that pattern, we can be certain about our answer. Now for number 2, we have 47, negative 13, negative 8, 9, negative 23, and 14. The next number in this list will be positive, negative, less than 100, less than negative 100. So if we look at this, we started with a positive number, then we went to 2 negatives, then we had a positive, then we had a negative, then we had a positive again. So can we really determine whether or not it's going to be positive or negative? Probably not. Do we think it's going to be less than negative 100? Well, all of our values are much greater than that negative 100. So what about less than 100? Yeah, seems like a reasonable guess for this, so less than 100. Now, are we certain we're correct? A little unsure, had no idea we guessed. So in this, I would say you could either say you had no idea, so you guessed, or you could say a little unsure, because we use some reasoning, we use some logic to work through this. So we're pretty sure it's going to be something less than 100, but we're not for certain. This could go who knows where, all the way up to 200, or it could go down to negative 105. We don't know for sure. So what about the data made you feel the way you did about the answer you marked? So since all the rest of the numbers are less than 100, the next number should also be. Since all the rest are less than 100, so should next. So this is the kind of idea to think through and really think about what these are looking at and how you're thinking about the information. So yes, I do want to see you have these circled. So whether you're certain, a little unsure, or you had no idea, so you guessed, don't worry. As long as you have one of them circled, you're going to get points for it. But I want to see how confident you are or how certain you are about what you had, or if you really did just guess on an answer. Okay, so make sure you give me whether it's the A, B, C, or D, then tell me how confident you are, and then give me a reasoning behind that competency. Each one of those things is worth a point, so these first 4 are all worth 3 points, so be careful with that. All right, the next thing we're looking at is creating histograms. So Mr. Austin gave a 10-point quiz to his 9th grade math classes. A total of 50 students took the quiz. Mr. Austin scored the quizzes and listed the scores alphabetically as follows. So first period, we've got all those scores. Then we've got second period and third period. So for 5, we're going to use all of the quiz data to make a frequency table with intervals. Use an interval of 2. So how many people scored between a 0 and 1? So if we look at this, we're looking for 0 to 1. We've got a 1 there. We've got another 1 there. And that looks to be it. So we just have the 2 1s. Let's see if I can cross those off. So the frequency is 2 because there's just 2 values that fit into this score range. All right, so now for 2 to 3, do we have any 2 to 3s in here? Nope, there are none who scored a 2 or 3. And it looks like we have a whole number, so we don't have to worry about any decimals here. You could have decimals and other things when we're doing histograms, so just be careful with that. Next is 4 to 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So it looks like we have 17. Oops, didn't mean to do that. 17 for the 4 to 5. So there's a lot of them that have a score from 4 to 5. All right, so then we're going to look at the 6 to 7, and I'm going to change my color just to make this a little easier. Okay, so for 6 to 7, so we've got 1 6 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like we've got 10. All right, for the 8 to 9, let's get another color in there. All right, so we've got 1, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's supposed to be for that one. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we've got 18 for the 8 to 9 category. And last but not least, we have the 10 to 11. So if we look, we've got this 10 to 11, or 10. There are no 10s or 11s here. We've got this 10, so there's 2, and there's 3. So we end up with 3 for frequency here. So this is the frequency. So frequency just means how many times does the range, so from 0 to 1, 2 to 3, so on and so forth, happen within the data set. So data is your keyword for this lesson. Data is your keyword for this lesson. So now taking the frequency here and our interval, we're going to come down here. So we're going to use our frequency table to make a histogram for the data. So we've got from 0 to 1 was a 2. So remember, with histograms, we go up to the next interval, because remember, it doesn't exist at 2, but it's everything leading up to that. For 2 to 3, there was nothing, so we'll have an open interval here. I'm going to switch my color back to blue. For the 4 to 5, we had 17. So we're going to extend this all the way up here. Sorry, my lines are so crooked. It's hard to write on here. All right, so remember, we go up to the next value after. So even though we're looking at the interval from 4 to 5. We're going to have it marked over the 4 to 6 interval. It's a little funky there. All right, the next one we have the 6 to 7 interval where there were 10. So 10 is all the way down here. So then go over, remember we need to go over to the 8 because we go to the next number in the next interval. All right, the next one we have from 8 to 9, they had 18. So we're going to jump this back up. Oh, very curvy. Sorry, guys. Not trying to have it super curvy. Ooh, goodness. Okay, and then this is going to go from 8 to 10. I apologize for how crazy looking these lines are. And last but not least, we have the 10 to 3 and the 10 to 11, which was 3. So for 10 to, we go to 12 because it includes that 11, and it would include 11.5 and 11.9, but not the 12. So we always go up to that next value when we do our intervals. So this would be what our histogram looks like. So now you guys are going to take and answer, describe the data distribution of the histogram you created, include words such as mode, skewed, outlier, normal, symmetric. So you're going to look at this and determine which numbers happen the most often. Are there any outliers? Is there some value that's separated from everything else? Where is the spread? Does it look fairly symmetric? Meaning, is it equal on both sides? So if we folded it, would it be equivalent? The high end and low end, would they be the same approximate amounts? So really think about that and give a nice little explanation there. Now for 8, you are still using this information here. So for number 8, you're getting a graph of your choice, histogram, box plot, dot plot, for the first and third period. So this first graph here, this will be your first period. This will be your third period. So you're going to take and do it just for those 2 individual periods. So only use first hour data in this first graph and only use third hour data in this second graph. Okay, so don't do the full spread. Don't do all of it like what we did in our frequency table and histogram, okay? All right, the next section. So figuring percentages. So for number 10, what percent of 97 is 11? In order to find this, we're going to take 11 and divide it by 97. When we do that, we get 0.113. Now remember, when we take and deal with percentages, we always move the decimal 2 places because we're multiplying by 100. So it equals 11.3%. So that's what you're doing on the ones that are in the form, what percent of 97 is 11. So that'll be like how you do number 11, how you do 12, how you do 13. Now 14 and 15 are different because they're saying what is 270% of 60 and what is 84% of 25. So to do these, because we're given the percent of the number, we're just multiplying. Now, just like up here, when we move the decimal 2 places to the right to get our percentage, in order for us to multiply, we need to move the decimal 2 places back. So this is actually 2.7 times 60. So now we're going to multiply these 2 together, and we're going to end up with 162. So for 14 and 15, you are multiplying the percent to the value. And for 10 through 13, you're dividing the second number by the first number, and then you'll move your decimal twice in that decimal you get to get your percentage. Okay? All right, a reminder, your keyword for this lesson is data. Have a wonderful week and happy mathing.